Finding a relationship in the Philippines does not require a dating site. It doesn't require the gift of gab. It doesn't require a lot of game, as you might expect. And it doesn't even require a lot of self-confidence. This video applies to women as well as men, in my opinion. In this video, I'm sharing with you how I have had success in this area of my life. I came upon this method just going out walking when I was first moved to Ocean Beach, California. I was bored and didn't know the area. It didn't start out as a method. It started out as just getting out of the house and exploring. I use the word method just for the purpose of this video because I'm explaining how I met girls and those girls turned into relationships. This is not really for the serial dater. You guys might be best just to stick with the dating sites if you're not interested in finding the real thing. And I'm not putting that down at all. I'm not putting it down. However, this video is geared to the guy looking for Mrs. Right instead of Ms. Right now. I'm going to make a few suggestions, including your mindset. And I'll start with an example of my mindset. The first thing I want to point out is that basically I refuse to date in the traditional sense. I always hated it. I mean, think about it. Going on a date with someone you don't really know anyway. I mean, I'd get there to pick them up, and there they are in a nice cocktail dress, high heels, and all that kind of stuff. They're dressed like going to the Oscars, and I was thinking Monday Night Football. Just uncomfortable, especially if you figure out you have no interest in her before the main course even gets there. I much prefer just hanging out like you would with any good friend, unless you're a guy who likes to impress girls by taking them to fancy, expensive restaurants. I say, if you want to lead with your wallet, go to Walking Street. You're a lot more likely to impress a girl and a lot more likely to get what you're trying to pay for. The average girl will just feel uncomfortable and that you're wasting your money. I was always the shy guy, so I needed to find a way that worked for me. And in the end, the same result. I'd much rather just hang out somewhere, maybe have a few beers with the family and, see where it goes from there without any pressure. I'd much rather solidify the friendship without trying to impress somebody. When I moved to San Diego, again in San Francisco and a few other locations as I moved around a lot, going back 55 years, I started using this technique to meet someone or two. And really, I didn't really think much about it until I was looking back one day and I was thinking back how I met all the people that I was friends with. I'm calling it a technique, but what really happened is I was bored and I was looking for a little adventure and I needed a few things, so I went out walking. When I went out that day, I wasn't looking to meet girls as much as just to get out of the house and to walk around, to get to know the lay of the land. So my mind was in the right place because I wasn't focused on trying to find a girlfriend that day. I was just out exploring. So there I am, walking along, minding my own business, and I passed by a liquor store. I look in the window, and the cashier is just incredible looking. So I walked in, I bought a pack of cigarettes. She looked at me and said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Happy Monday. I'll have a pack of Marlboros in a box." She chuckled and said, "Yeah, happy Monday to you too," as she handed me the cigarettes and made the change. She was still smiling as I walked away. Now, as I walked out, I felt good because she smiled, so I felt a little less lonely in that big old neighborhood. Okay, so back on my journey, I walked a little further, and then I saw another cute girl in a coffee shop. "Hey, I need some coffee." So I went in, and when I walked to the counter, I said, "Happy Monday, how are you?" She just chuckled and smiled and said, "I'm doing good, thank you. What can I get for you?" As I walked away to the table, I could see a bit of a smile as she was on to her next chore. Maybe I brightened her day a little bit, I thought. A little later, I was walking past this little diner, and there was the cutest girl I'd seen all day. And, hey, I was hungry. So I went in and sat down. She came over and said, "What can I get you?" I looked at her, smiled, and said, "Happy Monday." She chuckled and smiled. I ordered a hamburger and french fries. The hamburger was fine. The french fries were pretty limp, so I only ate a few of them. Well, I was finished and it was time to leave. She came over and said, "Can I get you anything else?" I said, "No, thank you." She looked at the plate and said, "Are you finished?" Because obviously I hadn't eaten the french fries. I said, "Oh, I saved you some french fries." She looked at me and go, "What?" I was nervous and I laughed. When she realized it was a joke, she fell over laughing. She went back to the counter to get change, and I heard some girls laughing, and when I turned around, they were looking at me. So I knew she had told them about the joke, apparently. Now that was a bingo. So I walked out feeling like a win. And here I was just having the time of my life. I was having the time of my life because my mindset was right. I wasn't trying to impress anybody or get laid or get phone numbers. As a result, all day was smiles and no rejection. Zero rejection. Okay, a few of you are probably asking, what does this have to do with picking up girls in the Philippines? So let me jump ahead and back to the example. I was walking down the street one day, minding my own business, and one of the girls I had become friends with was riding by on her bike. Hey, with a big old smile, she's yelling, "Hey, Dee, are you busy Friday? My roommate wants to meet you." She invited me to her house for a dinner. She had a girlfriend she wanted me to meet. So I went there that Friday afternoon and immediately recognized this girl from when I was out on my walks. She was 5'6", Latina, just beautiful. I never approached her when I saw her because I just felt she was way out of my league. Her name was Carmen, like Carmen Electra. Keep in mind, I'm 17 years old, and this is a college town in San Diego. I think she was like one of those girls that's so amazing that all the guys are intimidated and afraid to ask her out. I had little or no self-confidence. But she smiled, a huge smile, invited me in and gave me a beer. She seemed to want to talk a lot, so I just listened. Just watching her talk was a treat. You know, the girls there seemed to like to talk about guys the same way guys like to talk about girls around town. And she had talked about me to her friend. Now, her friend was one of those girls I'd begun chatting with as I was out on my walks. She was the girl at the diner, actually. So when Carmen asked about this guy she thought I was cute and wanted to meet, her friend knew it was me and told her I was a great guy. Now, one thing I learned that summer is some girls prefer a road less traveled. So imagine if I was trying to be all hip, slick, and cool when I met Carmen. Instead of stammering all over, acting like a fool, I just listened to her because she loved to talk, and I loved to listen to her. She just adored me. Long story short, the next day on my way home, I was on cloud 9. We had dated for a year, about a year and a half after that. This is the perfect example of finding love when I wasn't looking for it. Now, there's one thing I realized about all this. Now, the girl at the diner, if I had tried to pick up on her or get her phone number when I went in there, she had probably thought I was just some young horn dog and never gave me the time of day. As it was, I used to continue to go back, and we became friends. As it turned out, one of the hottest girls in town was pursuing me. Well, getting back to my routine, as I was getting out there, I met a lot of women, but also met a lot of guys. In this process, I was developing an entire circle of friends, of both men and women. People of the Philippines are so welcoming and friendly, you'll be feeling at home very quickly. If you get to the Philippines like a lot of expats with low self-esteem, it won't take long till a circle of friends like this will turn that around for you. And meeting the right relationship is only a matter of time at that point. Keep in mind that on average, every Filipina has 4 siblings. So for every 10 you meet, that's 40 brothers and sisters within walking distance. If you're out trying to date every cute girl you see and getting rejected, what girl would want to date a guy who's been rejected by everyone else? And the entire town knows it. You're a foreign guy, and words travels fast. On the other hand, if you take some time and establish yourself as a nice, kind man, you'll have the same number of people who know about you only as a good catch instead of a loser. Things are different in Southern California on the beach than they are up in the mountains in Oregon in a small town. And it's definitely different here. People go by different standards here. It's like the guy that said, "Oh, your socks don't match. One's green and one's yellow." So yeah, but I go by thickness. I mean, things are just different here. Don't go blowing everybody out of the water until you got a feel for the culture. Try leading with kindness instead of leading with your wallet. I promise you, you'll get a lot farther here. And when you do meet someone, they'll like you because you're kind, not because you got a fat wallet. You know, when you get here, give it some time. Figure out the lay of the land. You might end up trying to pick up on 3 sisters in the same day. And then you poisoned the well before you got started. So don't come here thinking that you're going to impress every girl you run into. Every girl here does not want to meet with a foreigner. You need to take your time and get accustomed to the local culture to figure out exactly what you want. You will change once you get here, so give yourself a little bit of time. Exercise a little impulse control. If you focus on getting to know the local people, the local culture, the relationships will follow, I promise you. Now, when people get to know you and they know that you're a kind person, that's when people are going to want you. It's not when you first get here just because you're from the West. Well, that's pretty much what I got for you today in this video, my friends. Please like, subscribe, and share with a friend who might be interested in the Philippines.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel